Hi everybody, it's so good to see you guys. In last week's science video, we learned about habitats and what they are. Do you guys remember what a habitat is? Very good. It's the different spots and places that plants, animals, and people live because of what the habitat has to offer, like food, water, and shelter. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the ocean habitat. Can you guys tell me some animals and things you might find in the ocean? Good ones. Nice job, you guys. There are dolphins, sharks, fish, seahorses, starfish, seaweed, octopus, all kinds of different things, sand and seashells. If you've ever been to the beach before, maybe you've seen some of these things in the water. Today, I wanted to first talk a little bit about oceans, learn about sinking and floating, and then talk about density. So, first to start, we'll talk about oceans. And there are 5 different oceans. Can everybody hold up 5 fingers? Nice job! The first ocean is the Atlantic Ocean. And some of you guys might have even been swimming in the Atlantic Ocean before. If you've been to the beach on the east coast of the United States, which is somewhere like Ocean City, Bethany, Rehoboth, Dewey, you've been to the Atlantic Ocean. The next one is in California. If you have ever been to the West Coast, like California, you have been swimming in the Pacific Ocean. So first is the Atlantic Ocean, then the Pacific, and the next ocean is the Arctic Ocean. And the Arctic Ocean is so cold. The fourth is the Indian Ocean, and the fifth is the Southern Ocean. So there are 5 different oceans in the world. And the oceans are so big. We still haven't even discovered a lot of the oceans. We don't know much about what's inside of them, which is pretty cool because there is so much left to discover. And oceans are made of salt water. Have you guys ever been to the beach, gotten some water in your mouth, and it tasted really salty and kind of yucky? That's because the ocean is made up of salt water. At home, we drink fresh water where there's no salt. Oceans are made up of salt water because of the rocks on land. Salt comes from the rocks into streams, and then those streams feed into the ocean, which is where oceans get their salt. Today, I wanted to do an experiment about floating and sinking in salt water versus fresh water. Now, salt water is really dense. Can you guys say dense? Good job. The more dense something is, the more it weighs. And dense objects will sink, where less dense objects will float. Let me show you. And you guys can do this at home too, with just a glass of water for fresh water, and a glass of water with 3 tablespoons of salt in it for salt water. Next, you need 2 eggs. Now, we just talked about how fresh water is less dense than salt water. Let's see what happens to an egg when we put it in fresh water. What happened, guys? What do you notice? The egg sank to the bottom. That's right. The egg is more dense than the water, so it sank down to the bottom. Now, let's check out our salt water. What do you guys observe about the salt water? Does it look like our fresh water? Not quite. It's a little more cloudy because of the salt. So, let's put our egg in and see what happens. What happened, guys? Did the egg sink or float on the top? That's right. The egg is floating on the top of the water because now the water is more dense because of the salt. How cool is that? And this experiment, boys and girls, is super fun because you can do it at home with so many different kinds of objects and toys, not just eggs. This is really, really fun. And since there's so much salt water in the ocean, big animals like whales and dolphins can also float to the top. Do you guys think that you float in the ocean? Yeah, that's right. Have you ever tried to lay down on your back and you can just float there? That's because of the salt water. The more salt is in the water, the more you'll float. I hope you guys had an awesome time learning about density and saltwater versus freshwater today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.